Hey friend, welcome back to The Gentle Reset, your no judgment zone for creating a home that actually works for you. I'm Allison, ADHD home and systems coach, former occupational therapist, and mom of two, and I'm so glad you're here. Last week, in episode 30, we talked about clearing your kitchen counters and how visual clutter affects your focus, mood, and energy. Today, we're talking about something that almost every ADHD woman worries about at some point. Not decluttering, but keeping it that way. Because decluttering a space is one thing, maintaining it when life gets busy and your energy is low can feel like a completely different challenge. So if you've ever thought, I know how to organize, but I just can't keep it that way, this episode is for you. Here's your weekly 3, a mind hack, a home hack, and a personal highlight to help your home feel lighter, more functional, and easier to maintain. Today you'll hear why maintenance at home doesn't come from perfect routines, how small resets make consistency easier in ADHD homes, and a real client example of what maintenance can actually look like over time. Next week, we're talking about why starting with one space, not the whole house, can create the biggest momentum in ADHD homes. So make sure you're following along, and I'll see you there. Let's jump in. Here's the mindset shift I want you to hear today. Consistency at home doesn't come from perfect routines, it comes from rhythms. A routine says something like, every night after dinner I clean the kitchen. But real life rarely follows a perfect routine. Maybe your kids have sports or after school activities at night. Maybe homework takes longer than expected. Maybe you're just exhausted and the last thing you want to do is clean the kitchen. And when the routine gets skipped, many ADHD women immediately think, well, I blew it. But rhythms work differently. A rhythm might sound like, most nights the kitchen gets reset before bed. Some nights it happens right after dinner. Some nights it happens later. And some nights it doesn't happen at all. And that's okay, because the next day you simply return to the rhythm. Consistency in ADHD homes isn't about doing something perfectly every single day. It's about knowing how to come back to it. So what does consistency actually look like in a real home? Consistency looks like building small resets into your day so spaces don't slowly pile up again. For example, instead of thinking I need to clean the whole entire kitchen tonight, you might spend 5 minutes clearing the counters and loading a few dishes. Maintenance works best when the reset is small enough that your brain doesn't resist starting it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, one surface. Those small resets bring the space back to baseline without turning it into a big project. And if the kitchen is one of those spaces that tend to build up quickly, I have a simple ADHD-friendly 15-minute kitchen reset checklist that I mentioned in last week's episode. I'll link it again in the show notes if you want to try it. Speaking of maintenance, this reminds me of a client I worked with on her office space. When we started, the desk had become a place where papers and projects slowly piled up over time. She wanted the space to feel calm and functional again, but she was also worried about whether she could maintain it. I walked her through decluttering the space and creating a simple paper system for the things she actually used. But what stood out the most happened later. She said, I know where to put things now, and I have fewer piles on my desk. I now have a baseline for my office of where things belong. I'm so proud of myself. I clear off my desk every night to end the workday. That's what maintenance looks like. Not perfection, just knowing how to bring the space back to baseline again. If maintenance feels like the hardest part of organizing for you, that's something we can work through together. Inside a curiosity call, we talk through what's currently breaking down in your home, what rhythms might support your space better, and which room would create the biggest relief to start with. You can schedule one anytime through the link in the show notes. Here's what I want you to remember today. Consistency at home doesn't mean daily perfection. Rhythms work better than rigid routines for ADHD homes. Small resets keep clutter from building up again. Maintenance becomes easier when systems are simple and clear. Well, that's it for today, friend. Thank you for being here and spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you or you've been listening for a while, I'd love it if you left a quick review or shared it with a friend. It helps more ADHD women find this kind of support too. Remember, one small shift at a time creates momentum. You're doing better than you think, and I'm so proud of you. See you next week on The Gentle Reset for another weekly 3.